This is Nikki Collins.
Jordan Canada. Essence Carson.
Liz Candace.
Imani Meaty Stafford. And you're listening to WNBA Weekly.
How's it going, WNBA fans? And welcome to another edition of WNBA Weekly, your source for all things WNBA and women's basketball. I'm Steve Schwartzman, and I'm joined today by the one, the only. He calls himself Pale. I like to call him Vanilla Pudding. It's Kyle Haywood.
What's up, dude? It's good to be back on mic. Vanilla Pudding, actually, I saw them open for Queen of Hearts, and it was pretty solid. It was a pretty solid show. So
yeah, I heard about that. I think it was like an alternate name, like Vanilla Ice was on
Vanilla
a
Ice.
short list.
They started Googling Vanilla Ice, and they went to page 2 on accident and got Vanilla Pudding. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, take it.
But I'm excited to be back on mic, man. It's a good week. It's a fun week.
Yeah.
It was such an insane, awesome week of basketball that I'm super stoked to chat about.
We are well in the throes of the 2019 WNBA season. A lot of good matchups over the weekend. But before we jump into the next week and a couple other fun discussions we have, let's start things off the way we like to here this season and give some recognition and accolades for the previous week in our WNBA week that was, which we like to call it, the Triple W.
1, 2, 3.
And the winner of the Most Valuable Player Award is...
You are the one!
The way I see it, you owe Tina an apology.
Watch me.
All right, so for newbies listening, here's how it goes. We give out 3 awards for the Triple W each week. We have a weekly MVP, we have a weekly Rookie of the Week, and Play of the Week. We're trying out something a little bit different this time. We're putting the onus for this on our hosts as opposed to listeners. So we're trying that out this week. Should be fun. So each week a different host will be assigned a different award. And so we're going to kick that away. Now, first things first, let's award our MVP for, is this week 3 or 4?
3? I think it's 3.
I'm off.
Yeah.
3? It's week 3. If I'm wrong, Jason will throw the correct number on the screen because he's good at that stuff. Speaking of Jason, let's kick it out to Jason Snow for your Week 3 MVP.
Hey there, WNBA Weekly fans. I'm excited to bring you this week's MVP of the week. A lot of great contenders, a lot of great scoring happened, but I might not go with the person who got the highest scores, but I think the person who had the most well-rounded week of all, putting up 17.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 5 blocks they averaged over the course of 2 games. So that's 10 blocks over 2 games. A phenomenal week for Jonquel Jones. She had a great week. I think she really deserved this one. Connecticut's having what seems to be a really good year, putting together a great squad. So congratulations to Jonquel Jones.
Good stuff! All right, let's go ahead and move things along. That's your Week 3 MVP. Let's head over to the neophytes. We're going to talk to Logan Jones with your Week 3 Rookie of the Week. Take it away, LJ.
All right, guys. It's up to me to pick this week's Rookie of the Week. And at the risk of sounding uncreative, it's actually going to be this rookie's 3rd time winning it on this show. But I don't see how I could pick anybody else. It's rookie forward Nafisa Collier, particularly because of a game against the Sparks this past week, Minnesota versus the Sparks. On the 8th, she recorded 36 minutes. She ended up shooting 50% from the floor. She ended up finishing with 18 points, as well as filling the rest of the stat line with 5 made free throws, 8 total rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and just 2 turnovers. Being such a mainstay on this Rookie of the Week award so early in the season makes me feel like she's got a very good shot at continuing a campaign for Rookie of the Year by year's end. But I guess we'll wait and see.
We got 2. Let's take it out to number 3. We've got our MVP, our rookie. Now let's hear from Kyle Haywood, your Week 3 Play of the Week.
All right, guys. So for this week's Play of the Week, it was tough. There were so many amazing plays. But I went with the one that caught my attention the most, and it was during an emotional game right towards the end. And so I'm actually going to go with Lexi Brown's insane three-pointer bank shot right towards the end of the game. There's just over a minute left. The Sparks are up by 4. Minnesota needs a bucket, and the shot clock is winding down, and she nails it right as the shot clock expires. It's a bank shot, just kind of an awkward thrown-up shot, but I loved it. It just was, with the rivalry with the Sparks, the Lynx, Lexi Brown really being utilized now where she wasn't as a rookie. She's finding her rhythm. And a ton of emotion with the Whalen jersey retiring. I thought, what a perfect play for this week's Play of the Week.
Fantastic, and just like that, that was your Week 3 WNBA week that was.
Some good stuff, man. Yeah.
Cool. I like it. Good times, great oldies, FM 100. That was a weirdly local reference.
If you want to know what our radio stations are like in Utah...
Woo! Before we lots of Christmas music in December. Before we jump into our main topic, really quick, of course, thank you, of course, for so much for listening, especially if you're a first timer. If you want to check us out on Twitter, you can find us at WNBA Weekly on Twitter. Likewise, over at Facebook. You can, of course, find the show anywhere that your podcast can be found. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or anywhere with a review, we would love a 5-star review and any comments in the comments section. That helps bump us up into the sports feeds and get some new ears on the product, which we always love to. The more the merrier, we like to say over here at WNBA Weekly. And of course, if you want to give some extra support to the show, check out our Patreon page. We have some great prize tiers, some really good kickbacks, and continuing to delve out some extra content for you. And speaking of extra content, you can also check us out on our YouTube channel. Hit subscribe over at WNBA Weekly. We're constantly doing live streams. You can also watch this show week on week and check out some video content if you're watching it right now. How's it going?
It's good to see you.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
It's good to be seen.
Check us out. Hit subscribe. If you also hit the notification bell on YouTube, you get a notification every time that the videos or live streams run live. So you don't even have to keep a schedule or flowchart or anything like that. Your phone will let you know because technology is amazing. And that's just how it works. But that's everything for the shameless plug portion of the show. Kyle, what do you say we actually talk a little bit of
I'm down.
Sports, because that's what we're here to do. Let's take a really strange... I'm just fixing my video right now. There we go. Let's take an interesting veer, because this should come out on Tuesday. This episode's typically due. So unless this episode is delayed, at the time that this is released, we will be just hours away from the U.S. kickoff of the Women's World Cup. USWNT, phenomenal time of year. I guess I pretty much just said who we're supporting. If you're supporting another nation, you're totally allowed
Anila,
to.
go Canada, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Shout out to Anila.
Anila company from Canada or anywhere else. We do have listeners abroad as well, so best of luck to any of your home countries. That said, very, of course, exciting time. I'm very new to the soccer world. I've been really diving in a lot to the NWSL this year. So I'm a bit of a neophyte in terms of soccer in general, but obviously the World Cup's an exciting time. There are a few more exciting squads in any of sports than the U.S. women's national team. Full of great characters, great athletes. I don't even know any accolades you want to throw at them, Kyle. You're more of the kickball fan than I am. For the worldwide sport that soccer is. Generally, a lot of people don't look at the United States because, our men's team isn't at the top of the world, but our women's team is. Our women's team has won multiple World Cups. We are one of the very best in the whole world, and so it's super exciting to see that the women are representing the United States so well, being United States residents as we are. But yeah, so just it's awesome to see the fact that these women are accomplishing something on a worldwide stage that the men have only dreamed of, and I love it. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. This is obviously a phenomenal time. So of course, best of luck to the U.S. women's team on your road to, I believe, your 4th star. All time. So
yeah, we have 3. We're going for the 4th.
I did some research.
We got 3.
There we go. Big time. Big time. Love it. So what we thought we'd do to commemorate that is to give the Women's World Cup a little bit of WNBA flair. We've got 2 rounds of sort of a fantasy draft, sort of a casting call. Let's jump into round 1, Kyle. We've already selected our individuals, but essentially how this is going to work is we're each going to go 3 times here in round 1. You're going to name a member of the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team roster, and you're going to announce essentially who in the WNBA is that player. So let's say you're calling out Megan Rapinoe. And Kyle, let's say
who would be her WNBA
who's the Megan Rapinoe of the WNBA?
In the WNBA?
Yeah.
Sue Bird, maybe?
Gee,
maybe? That's a stretch, though.
Who thought? Exactly. So that's the idea, is we're gonna cast out the WNBA counterpart of our US WNBA team players. So Kyle, I'm gonna kick it out to you. We'll go back and forth. We'll do 3 each for this round, and then we'll have another special round coming up. So
okay.
I'll let you start.
I'm starting off with this one may seem a little bit obvious, but I just want to start off things like this to kind of give a good feel for this. I'm going to go with Carly Lloyd. Okay, has the most caps of anybody on the squad. Has been playing on the team for a long time, and absolutely went bonkers in the 2015 World Cup. Scored 3 goals in like 15 minutes. Just an insane, amazing player. And because she delivers well in crunch time, and she leads, she is currently the all-time goal-scoring leader on the squad currently. So who better to be her WNBA counterpart than the one and only DT Diana Taurasi? So Carly Lloyd is the current Diana Taurasi for me.
Very nice. I like that. Good call there. Scores mentality. There's another dominant scorer named Lloyd that I was curious if you were going to take that route, but you didn't, and that's fine. Don't have to do that at all.
Who you got, Steve? I'm curious your first pick here.
This is an interesting one because I'm trying to figure out which direction I'm going to go because there's a lot of different directions that I could take. But I am going to kick things off with the Portland Thorns' own Tobin Heath. Tobin Heath is a dynamic scorer, lives the Portland brand really well, is just a hard-nosed forward, is one of the most exciting players in the league, is one of the best personalities in all of soccer and women's sports in general, has a great personality that way. And also, really, like I said, really lives up to that type of Portland brand in a way. Very into surfing, skateboarding, loves juggling, apparently. So there's a lot of different ways that you can take things out. I wanted to go... We already called out Sue Bird, so I'm not going to necessarily go Sue Bird. Tobin Heath is the type of a player that lets her game and her skills and her abilities speak for her. And when she does that, she speaks loudly. And when I think of someone who speaks loudly with their game, I think of Allie Quigley.
I like that one.
And so I'm going to give Tobin Heath, whatever the equivalent of dropping 29 in a 3-point contest. I think Heath has that in her.
She totally would.
So I'm giving Allie Quigley.
I like that one. That's a solid pick. Oh, okay.
All right,
I debated long and hard about this one. I'm actually going to go with Becky Sauerbrunn. Defender, and a local for Steve and I. She plays on our local team, Royals FC. So, I had a hard time with this one, but I really, really want to do Sauerbrunn, and I thought, somebody who is obviously she's a defender, so somebody who does a lot on the defensive side of things, but also facilitates really well. She's one that if you watch, she continually is looking for passes upfield. She's not just a stopper, but she's one that will actually get the offense off and running by using her leg, using a big leg to kind of get the ball up the field quickly. And I like what she does on both, in that regard. as you kind of get to know Sauerbrunn, she's been called over and over that she's the ultimate team player. And I thought, an ultimate team player, which team in the WNBA would fit well with an ultimate team player? Probably one that has, potential to have like 7 players score in double figures at any given game. And so I thought Connecticut Sun, and Jonquel Jones is having a breakout season this year with just tearing it up on the boards and blocks. So I thought defensive Jonquel Jones on Connecticut Sun, that's Becky Sauerbrunn's WNBA counterpart this year.
I like it a lot. As a matter of fact, why don't we just keep things over at the Riot? Let's stick with the Utah Royals FC. Let's talk about Kristen Press for a minute.
That's like one of my 2 favorites, so thank you.
Absolutely. I'm a huge Kristen Press fan. This is someone who not only is one of the most talented scorers you'll ever see, she has the ability to score in some of the most unique ways I've ever seen. Her handling ability, her ability to control the ball is unprecedented. She's had a couple scoring plays for the Royals just this season that are like, that shouldn't physically be possible. She's able to find really unorthodox ways to find the net and also to find space for her teammates to score, simply because she plays really well in instinct. And so because of that, she's able to make results happen in a lot of ways. And again, I think about players who have unique scoring ability and players also who have an unspoken way to put their team in a high energy level of success, build that type of a momentum. But here's the other thing that makes this, that helps me with this decision, is Kristen Press is a phenomenal forward that is on a team stupid with very well-known forwards and high-quality names across the board. You already talked about Carly Lloyd. You've got Alex Morgan. Kristen Press is one of those players who is the absolute best at what she does, doesn't always get called out for it because of what's surrounding her. That's exactly how I would describe DeWanna Bonner.
That's a good call. That's a great call.
DeWanna Bonner is one of my favorite players because she has very unique abilities to score. She finds ways to create and make shots in very unique ways because she's got that point forward mentality or that shooting forward mentality and can really make things work. At the same time, how many times have you and I personally talked about why are we talking about DeWanna Bonner in the MVP discussion? Why isn't it happening by now? Because for some reason it always gets delineated that way, and I just felt like the aura between both those players is pretty similar.
That's a great call. That's a phenomenal call. Yeah, Kristen Press, DeWanna Bonner, solid. Two of my favorites on in both soccer and basketball. So I'm super down for that. Okay, I've got my last one coming up here. Now this one I really like. This is one that I really this is probably, in my opinion, the most accurate of my 3. Okay, so I saved it for last. I'm gonna go with Julie Ertz. Okay, I really like Julie Ertz. I've watched her for several years. She was one of my favorite players, probably since about 2013, 2014. I really loved what I've seen from her. Oh man! So Julie Ertz is one that through her college years and into the NWSL and into the U.S. Women's National Team is just versatile. She's efficient. She's very, very careful with how she attacks, and she's technically a midfielder, but she can play back as a defender. Because she, as a midfielder, might be the single best defender to take anybody one-on-one on the field. And when I think about that, and I think about efficiency on offense, there's one player that comes to mind, and that's Alicia Clark from the Storm. One of the best on-ball defenders in the league, and she almost always leads her team in field goal efficiency. And she shoots something like 45% from 3 or something like that, and has for a couple years. Phenomenal offensive efficiency, as well as one of the best defenders, on-ball defenders. I think that fits both of them really well. So Julie Ertz, your WNBA counterpart, is Alicia Clark.
Phenomenal. Well, I've got one more call out then, Kyle.
Yeah.
And I just had to double check and make sure this one wasn't taken because this probably seems like the obvious choice. Let's go ahead and nab Alex Morgan really quick.
Nah, let's do it.
I'm going to go ahead and make a long story short. This is an all-world player. Well-known name across the entire board. Can pretty much do everything that you need a great player to do on and off the field. Is outspoken. Bree Stewart.
Oh. Why was I not thinking Bree Stewart for Alex Morgan? I like that.
I think the brain wants to go with a guard with Alex Morgan, but I was just like, I just feel like the aura is there.
What? Maybe because Bree's not playing this season, but dude,
that might
I
have
was
been
just.
It. That might have been it, yeah.
I was sitting there, like, going through, I'm like, okay, like, who would I pick, And when you said Bree Stewart, I was like, that's who I should have picked. Like, I had other thoughts, but I like that, dude. That's great.
Yeah, that was kind of, my brain was playing fun tricks there, but that's, I guess, where we'll take things. So,
Sweet,
so
man.
that's our lineup here. Like I said, that's round one. Let's move on to round two, Kyle. This is where things get a little more fun. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to shoot at each other. You can start with me. We're going to shoot at each other a WNBA name, and then we need to assign a US WNT player for that. So it's the reversal here. If you double up on previous names, that's probably fine. Whatever. We're just here to have fun. I'm going to let you start, though. I'm going to let you put me in the hot seat first.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a WNBA player that you got to pick a U.S. women's national team player for. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go... let's go with another big name from the league. I want to hear who's your Asia Wilson on the women's national team. Who you got for who's your Asian?
Oh man. That's tough.
That is tough because I said that and I'm looking and I'm thinking, who would I pick?
You're going deceptive speed, plays with power, Allie Krieger.
Ooh, that's not a bad pick.
So I'd give
a
Asia Wilson
solid
too.
pick.
I think I feel good about that one. That's tough. Dude, we got to do this 3 times. All right. I'm going to start off by, I guess, I'm going to throw a nod at your daughter. I want to hear who your Courtney Vandersloot is.
Oh, Courtney Vandersloot. I like it. Ooh, okay. Well, here's the deal. Oh. Yeah. Well, let's go this way. Vandersloot, right? The ultimate assists, and in my opinion, a court general, right? Has to see the whole floor, has to distribute really well, and make sure everyone else on her team is being effective and efficient. In soccer, a lot of times that falls to the keeper. So I'm going to go with Alyssa Nair. Is going to be my that's my sloot. That's my Vandersloot. So
very interesting. I did not expect you to take that direction.
Yeah. The more I thought about it, I wanted to go with Alyssa. So
I like it.
We'll see.
Good work.
All right.
I'm like super nervous. This game's not very fun.
Okay. WNBA. I'm gonna see. Let's. I have a good one. We've had her on the show, and she's a phenomenal interview. One of the most personable people I've ever met in my life. Who's your Imani McGee Stafford?
Gosh dang it!
Of this team.
Golly.
Is that one that you're going to ask me?
I have no idea, but that's very good. Imani McGee Stafford. It's not fun at all, and I don't know why. Oh man, I'm really trying to do this efficiently, but this is just taking some serious work here. looking at this, we were talking about Amanda Stafford. This is an incredibly outspoken person, knows what she's talking about, isn't afraid to get in your face. But at the same time, extremely eloquent, like you said, personable, and has obviously a very unspoken game. Well, extremely competent in her position across the board here. I am going to go.
I'm so excited.
I'm going to go with Ali Long.
Okay. Interesting.
Quality midfielder, jack of all trades, seems to have some personality about her.
Okay, I like it.
I had to throw fish in her barrel there because that one was
that was kind of a tough one. I'll admit
that was tough.
That was kind of a tough one.
So I'm going to make it really hard on you.
Oh no!
Give me your Liz Cambage.
Oh, that's hard because she's Australian. This is the women. This is the U.S. team.
That's exactly yeah. What's up the degree of difficulty here?
Okay. Jeez. Okay, my Liz Cambage. Okay. Well, see, we had Bree Stewart already, so this player was one that I considered possibly a Bree Stewart type. I'm going to go with Crystal Dunn.
Nice.
A defender, Crystal Dunn. Basically, I mean, she's essentially won every award possible that you could win, and I think that is the type of talent that you see with a Liz Cambage, and so. She's really versatile. She has great defense. She's played forward, midfielder, and now she's in a defender. She's kind of a wing back right now, and so I think where she's moved around positions, maybe we can say, hey, Liz Cambage just recently moved teams. I don't know. That's a stretch, but I'm gonna go with Crystal Dunn. That's the best I got. That's the best I got for Liz Cambage. Okay, let's see. Last but not least, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't feel good at all.
Who? Ooh. I got one. I got one for you. Okay. Who is your Simone Augustus of the team?
Gosh.
Let's say we haven't had a Lynx player yet, so we got to throw some love to Minnesota.
Oh my gosh! You know what? If this is a weak sauce move, it's a weak sauce move. Let's go hair for hair, Jessica McDonald.
Yeah, dude, that's a great call.
Dreads on dreads.
Dreads on dreads.
That's kind of where I took that one because I had no clue.
That's good. Hair for hair, Jessica McDonald.
I've thrown some curveballs at you. I think I've got the worst one by far.
Oh, awesome.
You know what? Actually, no. I got a better one. I'm gonna give one at you that I have one ready for.
Okay.
That I was like, please call this name. Yeah, no. I'm going a completely different route. Sorry, I have like 5 different ideas all of a sudden. Who's your Brittany Griner?
Oh, jeez.
I also have one in mind for this.
Brittany Griner. Okay, hold on. I gotta think.
My last take was somewhat hair related. And
Brittany Griner.
I'm sending vibes your way, Mitch, to see if you go the direction I did.
Okay, so Griner is well known as she's been for our last couple of we always are picking her preseason defender of the year is kind of kind of where we have her. I'm thinking a Baylor connection. I don't know if there's I don't know enough about the college squads of a lot of the women's national team.
Yeah.
So okay, so I kind of got to go with my gut on this one. Right. Just kind of my thought process, and I'm going another defender. I've picked several defenders. Is kind of been my MO for this. Yeah. I'm going to go with another defender. I'm actually going to go with Kelly O'Hara.
Okay.
Yeah, she hasn't been a prolific scorer for the team, which Griner's doesn't have to be a prolific scorer. She's got DT and Bonner on her team, but I like that she's she kind of seems like kind of that risk taker. She's one that is she was a forward. She switched to defense. I think I'm just gonna go with Kelly O'Hara. That might just be because I also didn't want to leave off any of our Utah Royals FC family off the list. So maybe I'm stretching that regard.
That is so the opposite of the direction I was going to take, but I like where
were you thinking?
Well, when I think with Griner, the two things that match up with someone on the roster is two very big keys to Brittany Griner and everything about her success levels. Obviously, dominant on the defensive end, and you have to admit that a lot of it is intimidation.
Right. So
when I look through this roster bit by bit, I think Ashlyn Harris.
Okay, I was just gonna say Ashlyn Harris because you said as soon as you said intimidation, I was like
defensively minded
Harris.
Intimidation. Like that's
yeah.
You're not messing with Ashlyn Harris. That's just straight up
Solid,
not happening. So that was good fun.
I like it, dude.
Watch the World Cup, everybody. Cheer on. I'm not even going to say Team USA, whatever team you root for. But for us,
we're cheering for the United States.
There's no sense in lying about it. Bring home that fourth star. Good fun discussion, but let's go ahead and close things out to talk some good old-fashioned basketball with our Week 4 Game of the Week.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now,
Now, this is an interesting matchup we're going to have this week. I think the last couple of weeks we've tried to tie to which teams have been playing really well, what are some really key high-level matchups. This is a really nuanced matchup, but I thought it would be a really fun discussion based off of its narrative. So for Game of the Week, we're going to talk about the Chicago Sky at the Indiana Fever, Saturday, June 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can watch that on League Pass, Fox Sports Indiana, if you're a localer. But you can also watch that on League Pass. Here's kind of the idea with this matchup, or I guess the general narrative of this matchup. These are two teams that I feel like we don't quite have a handle on quite yet, for very opposite reasons.
No, I agree, yeah.
I feel like the Sky, we walked in with a lot of momentum to put toward that roster, and they haven't quite hit that mode yet. And we're not sure if they're going to eventually hit the accelerator, or if we've seen them as they're branded. Fever, on the other hand, I could easily say, have probably already overachieved for the whole season. Already with 3 wins under their belt, coming off of a tough loss against Phoenix. Where are they sitting stock wise? Is Indiana in a place where we might be able to lean in on them as a potential playoff team, or are we finally going to see them as the Fever we were kind of expecting them to be? So it's both teams that we don't quite have a handle on that could really go either direction, and in that way I almost see them very evenly matched in a lot of ways. That said, what's kind of your thoughts on the storyline here?
No, I agree. I would say that those are the two teams that I personally have the most question marks on. Now, there's other teams that have surprised me that I'm like, whoa, what's going on? AKA the Atlanta Dream. What's going on with those guys? But I think that teams that I'm confused. I'm like, I don't know what to expect night in, night out. Because you got the Sky, who have played absolutely abysmal and absolutely dominant against the Seattle team, where they just went out and just blew them out of the water. Well, I mean, I guess it got a little closer at the end, but still, the Sky just start to finish just thrashed the defending champions. And then you've got Indiana that where'd those guys come from? Like, it's just a 3-2 Indiana squad that's got 3 wins. Now they did lose to Phoenix recently, and it did look like it was going to be a blowout, but they fought back. That's the thing that makes me the most interested with Indiana this season. In years past, that's a 20-point loss, and because of 20-point loss. This season, there was fight. you're seeing fight in Indiana that you haven't seen for the last couple seasons, and that
Absolutely.
I really, really like seeing that come from the Fever. So, so I would say that these are the two teams that I feel like I just don't have a grasp on what to expect night in, night out from each of these teams.
I really vibe really well with that exact kind of mindset. I think there's a lot here to really be interested in. In terms of matchups, are there any particular player and player matchups or specific performances you're excited to, or you're kind of wanting to keep an eye on as you're looking into this?
I always look in the backcourt for these two teams. I think Erica Wheeler has been playing some really, really solid basketball. I love what she's doing. She's distributing really well, and has been able to find her teammates. And honestly has just played some really fantastic basketball. As always, the backcourt in Chicago is one of my favorites to watch. Period. I absolutely love watching the Quigley, Vandersloot, and kind of seeing a player like Diamond DeShields even recently stepping in on there, or a Katie Lou Samuelson. But for me, it really kind of boils down to that backcourt. So for me, the key matchup would probably be, I'm going to say Erica Wheeler and Courtney Vandersloot. Let's go those two. I think those two are going to be huge for their respective teams.
Obviously, we have two really solid rookie players, and I'll be interested to see if they can bust themselves out. If there is one other player that's really intriguing me right now is Allie Quigley, because I don't know if she's quite broken out for the season quite yet. Not averaging double digits yet. There's a lot more to kind of be played out there, so I'll be interested to see where things play from there. Let's go ahead and just dive into brass tacks. Do you have any other comments before we get nitty and gritty here?
No, let's do it.
Cool. Let's just make this thing happen, Kyle. I want to hear your prediction for Chicago and Indiana.
Okay. I'm taking Indiana in this one. I've got. I loved the fight that I saw from them at the end of that Phoenix game. I think that Chicago is coming off a big win and a confidence-boosting win, but there's something about that Indiana fight that I really enjoy seeing this season. I don't necessarily see it a super high-scoring affair, but I do see it probably hitting into the 70s, a little bit higher than some other games that we've watched. So I'm actually going to go with 76 to 73. 76-73, Indiana with the victory. What you got, Steve?
All right, so you jumped right into it, so I'll jump right into it. Well, I'm going to take Chicago on this one for a couple of reasons. First, I'm looking at the schedule. Chicago has 2 home games during the week before they head on the road to Indiana, so I expect them to be somewhat well-rested. Indiana right now, starting the week in Seattle, heading out to Dallas on Thursday, back in Indiana on Saturday. So with a team like Indiana who's playing well but doesn't quite have, for me, like a competitive maturity level on them, that much movement, I'm interested to see where they go. Here's the other side of things. These are 2 teams that are extremely backcourt proficient. They're solid backcourts, deep backcourts on both rosters. Where you start to dwindle things down is where the front court looks. And it brings me to my new frustration point, because as well as Indiana's played in several games this year, they still haven't done the one thing that I think helps them get to the next level. And that is that Pokey Chapman will not let Tierra McCowan loose. Like still averaging 14 minutes per game. And in this situation, in this specific game, if you have a chance to get her confident in the front court, you have a chance to shut Chicago down. Now what you're doing when you don't do that and you expose weaknesses in your front court, you have Courtney Vandersloot, Diamond DeShields, and Gabby Williams consistently finding open lanes, all players who like to drive to the basket. I think we're actually going to see Chicago putting themselves in this situation to score efficiently. Do I think it's going to be an easy blowout? No. But I sense Pokey Chapman leaning on McCowan to try to make those stops they need late, and it's going to be too late because I think she needs the minutes to feel confident in those moments. I say that understanding that she had a buzzer beater in her first game. I know that's an outlier in this scenario, but all that said, I'm going to give this one to Chicago 67-61.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Sweet, man. So that's our game of the week. You guys can check that out. As Steve mentioned, you can check it out on League Pass. Unless you're local to Indiana, then it's probably going to be blacked out, and you got to check it out another way.
Yeah.
But what's with the blackouts, man?
Broadcasting rules.
I wish that League Pass didn't include blackouts for your local teams, right? There was huge chunks of the season last year. I couldn't watch a lot of Las Vegas Aces home games because I lived like 6 hours away in Utah. Like that just didn't make sense to me. So it's annoying, but you can check it out on League Pass if you're not in Indiana. If so, in Indiana, you got to check it out on what is it? Fox Sports. Fox Sports Indiana. Is that what it is?
Something to that effect. And of course, you can find it on League Pass. Good stuff.
But I think that's all we've got for Game of the Week, right?
Yeah, that's everything. And I think it's really everything down the show. Anything, Kyle, you want to head out to fans, friends, listeners before we call this one a day?
Just again, thank you guys for always tuning in. We love interacting with you on Twitter. Find us on Twitter at WNBA Weekly. You can also join our Facebook group. Just search WNBA Weekly. We'll be right there. If you haven't yet, give us a 5-star review on iTunes. We love checking our iTunes reviews, and it's been fantastic. We've read several of those on air right here as we've done that. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit subscribe wherever you happen to be listening to podcasts. If you're on iTunes, leave us a review. We appreciate that. So, but yeah, that's about all I've got.
Absolutely. One last quick thing, because if you're watching the video or checking it out, guys, head out to Store Envy. Get yourself a specially designed shirt on behalf of the show. Proceeds for those shirts go directly to efforts that we're making to get new fans to games in their home markets. We're already reaching out to teams right now to coordinate some of those with funds we've had for previous sales. Also, we're only like 6 weeks or 7 weeks or so from the All-Star game, and if we're able to get enough resources, we might be able to get a group or two out to the All-Star game for a chance to see the very best of the league. And we'd love your support in doing that. But check it out. There's some really high-quality stuff there, really good designs. If you have an idea for a shirt or a design, let us know. We would love to put some of our designers on that because they love doing that. But check that out. And, of course, if there's ever anything we can do to help make the program and our media efforts better for you as a fan, as a listener, definitely let us know. We absolutely love hearing from you. But Kyle, so much fun chatting with you. Good times.
As always, man.
We've got great women's soccer. We've got great basketball. Just a little bit of everything. It's going to be a fun week. We're excited to dive more into it next time. But until then, thanks so much for listening to WNBA Weekly. I'm Steve Schwartzman.
And I'm Kyle Haywood.
And we got you next time.